Hello and welcome to Mr. McGettigan Media. Come in, sit down, get your exercise books or your lined paper out, get a pen out please, and we are going to start our first lesson for the Fortnite unit. Okay, there is a number of documents on Show My Homework that I would like you to look at. I would like you to open the document marked Do Now, okay, Peggy ratings, and you can see on this document that there are a number of descriptions of different ratings for video games. I would like you to have a look at those descriptions, and I would like you to work out which of these ratings 3, 7, 12, exclamation mark, 16 or 18, each one of these descriptions adheres to. Okay, so have a look at that document, open it up on Show My Homework, and have a guess on which of these descriptions match which of those ratings. Okay, if you could do that now, that will start our lesson. Okay, just as you are doing that, I will take the register. I should be speaking to Abdullah. Hello Abdullah. I should be speaking to Corey. Hello Corey. I should be speaking to Jake. Hello Jake. Maddie Day. Good afternoon, Maddie. BB, good afternoon. Idman, good afternoon. Jack, good afternoon. Mohab, good afternoon. Maddie Rawcliffe, good afternoon. Alex, good afternoon. Ollie, good afternoon. And Callum, good afternoon. Hopefully you are all able to see this and you are all able to open all of the documents that are on the Show My Homework for this lesson 1. Okay, if you need a little bit of extra time to complete this task, on the Peggy sheet, on the Do Now Peggy ratings sheet, you need to just match the rating to the descriptor. The descriptors, remember, are not in any order. Okay, if you need a little bit of time, you can pause this video now. Pause it now just to complete that task. Okay, you should have all completed that task now. Okay, I would like you to ask yourself now these questions. Do you think that Peggy ratings are extensive enough, or should they have more ratings as games continue to grow and develop? Okay, consider virtual reality games, for example. So this could be a discussion that you're having with yourself or the voices in your head or the people around you. It would be great if you guys could get together as friends and come and do these lessons so that you can talk about what I'm asking you. I know it's a little bit weird that Mr. McGettigan is speaking to you through your video screen and on YouTube, but it's very, very important that we try and do lessons as normally as possible as we go through. Okay, so these questions are on the bottom. Do you think the Peggy ratings are extensive enough, or should they have more ratings? It's entirely up to you what you think. It's just asking you for your opinions. Okay, so we are going to move on now. Just to give you the correct answers for that task, you can see that the description that says the majority of games in this category do not contain anything that requires rating or warrants a content warning. Games given this rating are considered suitable for all age groups. That's a 3 rating, and it says some violence in a comical context or a child-friendly setting is acceptable, as is nudity when shown in a completely natural and non-sexual manner, such as breastfeeding. So any of those things that you might see in a game would be considered a Peggy rating of 3. So just to give a little bit of context for that, some violence in a comical context. So that would be someone getting hit in the head by a bowling ball, or someone falling over on a banana skin. That kind of violence in a comical, child-friendly setting, it's acceptable. Okay. and there's nothing that requires a rating or warrants a content rating. So that's PEGI 3. Now moving on to a PEGI 7. PEGI 7 rating is any game that would be normally rated at 3 but contains possibly frightening scenes or sounds that might be suitable in this category. Okay, so to give a little bit more information, a little more violence is permissible at PEGI 18. It's always unrealistic and often directed towards fantasy characters or cartoonish characters, this might be, though very mild, non-realistic violence to humans may also feature. So we might see some non-realistic violence to humans, okay? There might be implied violence. For example, the bombing of a city where violence is not seen directly is also dealt with at 7, okay? So we can start to see that as we go up through the PEGI ratings, we can see the violence in particular becoming a little bit more realistic. We then have PEGI 12, and this is quite an important one for us to get. Okay, so PEGI 12, more level, more graphic, realistic looking violence towards fantasy characters is allowed. Violence towards human characters must look unrealistic unless it consisted of only minor or trivial injury such as a slap. Any sexual posturing of the type often seen in music videos is often allowed at this level, as is sexual innuendo. So now when we're getting into PEGI 12, we see a little bit more content that might be considered sexualized. Okay, some bad language is allowed, but it can be no more than mild swearing. So God damn it or something might be considered a PEGI 12, but more harsh swear words certainly wouldn't be seen in this rating. PEGI 12 games may provide some instruction on casino style gambling. For example, they can feature an explanation of the rules of blackjack or poker. And so we now bring in not just violence and sexual content, but also gambling content as well for games. A game at this level may feature horror content such as strong threat and dread or graphic injury details. That's 12. The exclamation mark PEGI rating now is an addition to numerical PEGI ratings. You'll see parental guidance recommended, and this is very much kind of for parents to have their own control over the games that their children play. For some non-game apps introduced PEGI for storefronts that use IARC, okay, this serves as a warning that these apps can offer a broad variety of user-generated or curated content. So curated content is that idea that people can create their own content, create their own worlds, and Fortnite very much has that. Typically this applies to such products such as Facebook, Twitter or YouTube. PEGI 16 then, okay, you can expect to see more mature, realistic violence against human characters. The game may deal heavily with death and injury to humans. We see also some sexual activity can be shown, but it must not include visible genitals. Depictions of erotic nudity may feature in a PEGI 16 game. Worse forms of bad language can be heard and will often include sexual expletives. The use of tobacco and alcohol may be encouraged. So we've now got more things. So it's not just violence, is just not just sexual content or gambling, but it's also promotion of tobacco and alcohol can be encouraged, and the game can feature use of illegal drugs. The game could glamorize crime. So most of you might now be thinking games like Grand Theft Auto come in at a PEGI 16 because a lot of all these descriptions can be found in that game. And then you've got PEGI 18, which is an adult classification applied when the level of violence is both realistic and severe in nature, often being graphic with blood and gore. Okay, so body parts being ripped off, heads being ripped off, that kind of thing. The game may include some detailed descriptions of criminal techniques, or it may in some way glamorize the use of illegal drugs. Okay, sexual activity with visible genital organs may be shown, so full body nudity and some sexual acts there. If a game is released physically in the UK, it's likely to get an R18 rating. The game will be referred to the BBFC for classification. Okay, so those are the 6 ratings on the PEGI scale. Okay, just so you know. So the title of this lesson today is Video Game Regulation. So can you please write down the title, which is Video Game Regulation. The date of which I'm recording this is Friday the 27th of March, but you are going to be seeing this much later in the year. You're going to be seeing this after Easter. That's when I'm going to be posting up. So ignore that date up in the top. Okay, and you will recognize this information here from my introduction video that I recorded, and here we can see we are looking at what you need to know. We're looking at the media industries, and we're looking very specifically today in this lesson at the regulation of video games. And our learning objectives today are to demonstrate an understanding of how video games are regulated, to demonstrate an understanding of who the VSC and PEGI are, and to demonstrate an understanding of Fortnite's PEGI rating. Okay, so those are 3 learning objectives, and we've got key vocabulary here now that I would like you to write down in your exercise book or your line paper. I would like you to write down today's key vocabulary, which is regulation, which is a rule or directive made and maintained by an authority, and ratings, a classification for regulations. Can you please pause this video now and make a note of the title and the key vocabulary? Do that now, please. Okay, you should all now have the title and the key vocabulary written down in your exercise books or on your lined paper. We will move on now. Okay, so in the UK, video games are regulated by the VSC, the Video Standards Council, which is a rating board. Okay, the VSC uses PEGI, which is Pan-European Game Information Ratings. Okay, I would like you now to pause the video and write this information down. It's very important that you write this information down. Pause the video now and write down these 2 points. In the UK, video games are regulated by the VSC, Video Standards Council Rating Board, and the VSC uses PEGI, which is Pan-European Game Information Ratings. Pause the video and write this down now. Okay, now I would also like you to write down your own response to this question. Why is it important to regulate video games? Why is it important, do you think, to regulate video games? So think about what we've looked at in terms of the 6 PEGI ratings so far, and the kind of content that we might see at each level, 3, 7, 12, the exclamation mark or the parental guidance, the 16 or the 18. Think about all of the stuff that I've covered so far this lesson. Why do you think it's important to regulate video games? Okay, make a note of that. Write a few sentences answering that question now. Pause the video if you need some time to do that. Okay, we are going to move on now. Okay, we are now going to be looking at how the VSC regulates games. Okay, and for this and for the next few bits of the lesson, I'm going to be referring you to the document. It's a PowerPoint slide which looks like this. Okay, and you can see that we've got 5 different steps of how games are examined by Peggy. Okay, this is a resource that you can print off, that you can stick into your exercise book or keep with your notes. Okay, we are going to be now looking at a video, a YouTube video that, and you can see the link on the PowerPoint slide that I've uploaded on to show my homework. It's looking at the VSC and how they regulate games. Okay, and this video, it's a little bit silly. There's no words to it, so you have to really watch the video, watch the visuals of what's going on, and it should explain to you a little bit about the VSC and how it regulates games. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you can see from that video the age rating process that goes through with the VS. Okay, so you can see that the first stage of the process is that of how the games are examined is that there is a content declaration assessment. First part of the rating process is the PEGI assessment, where the game developer declares in detail what the game contains. It covers elements such as violence, bad language, sex and drug use. After completing this assessment, the developer is then provided with a provisional rating which can be used for advertising. So this is the first stage. Okay, it's a provisional rating. It means that it might not stick, but it's given a provisional rating. Okay. Here's the question: why do you think it's important for game developers to declare everything that is in their game? Okay, well, think about it. A game takes a long time to complete, and you might start playing a game and see very kind of normal, basic content that might be found in a 3 or 7 PEGI game. But then as you go through the game, the content continues. Now, obviously, the VSC don't have time to be playing through the game every aspect of the game. Okay, and so it's there's trust on the game developers to tell the VSC what is in their game and what kind of content is there. Okay, that's the first stage. The second stage then is what they call submission materials. The next stage is for the developer to provide the VSC with evidence for their assessment answers, which includes video footage and then a copy of the game. Okay, so the companies have to give the game over to the VSC, okay, with footage of the game and answers to any assessment questions and a copy of the game in full. Okay, that is the second stage. The third stage then is the video footage is examined. Okay, it's assessed and analysed to see if there's anything missed or interpreted from the questionnaire before examining the game itself. Okay. Why do the VSC need to see video footage from the game? Well, they need to see how it's played. They need to see the footage from the whole game, not just the opening stages. Again, might take months for a game to be completed, and so the VSC don't have time to be just sitting there playing the whole game. They want to see footage from the start, bits from the middle, and towards the end as well. Okay, and the fourth stage then is game examination. The final stage is the examination of the game itself. It's an important aspect of the testing the game itself is to try out things that may not have been shown in the videos. For instance, investigating physical effects or differing weapons, or exploring all the ways in which your character can be harmed. Okay, so it's examining the game in lots of different ways. Okay, here's a question. What could the VSC discover from playing the game they might not have done just viewing the video footage? Well, they might see that the characters can go to different places and do different things, can get different weapons, can be harmed in different ways, which of course then would change the way that the VSC, Video Standards Council, see or rate the games. Okay, that's the fourth stage, game examination, and then finally they receive a PEGI license. Okay, so this is the final stage, and it's a complete examination, takes between 4 and 10 working days, after which the developer has sent their formal license containing the rating symbols they must use. Okay, so it isn't just the certificate, but there are also symbols to suggest why the game has been given that particular certificate. So bad language or violence in this case for this rating of 12. In addition, the age rating, there's also content labels. That's these things, these symbols, to explain to the customer why the game attains its rating. Here's a question for you. Why must game developers display the rating they have received? I'm not going to tell you that. I would like you to think for yourselves why games developers have to display the games that the rating that they've received. I want you to have a think about that, and I would like you to write your answer to that particular question down in your exercise books or on your line paper. You will need a bit of time to do that, so pause the video now. Okay, so you should have written an answer to this question: why must games developers display the rating they have received? Okay, you should have written your answer to that question. Okay, the answer very simply is so that the audience and potential buyers can know what kind of content they can expect in the game that they are buying. And it's very important for parents particularly to know what kind of content their children are accessing, and it's very important for video games suppliers, so the shop game, need to know exactly what is going on in the games that they're selling and who they should be selling to. Okay, So here's a little bit of individual work that I would like you guys to be completing. And again, this should be in your exercise books, or again, it should be on lined paper that you will keep, and you will show this work to me when we come back to school at the end of this coronavirus crisis. Okay, so first of all, I would like you to write down now, what does VSC stand for? Write that down now. If you need a little bit of time, you can pause the video. Okay, here's the answer. The Video Standards Council. VSC stands for the Video Standards Council. Okay, the next question, on this scale, which rating is missing? So we have 3, we have 7, we have a missing rating, we have the exclamation mark or the PG rating where parental guidance is advised, then we have 16 and we have 18. Which one is missing there? And you should know by now that that is 12. 12 is missing from that particular image. Okay, number 3. Which comes first when rating a video game? Is it the VSC play the game? The game's developer declares in detail the content of the game, or the VSC assesses video footage from the game? Which comes first when rating a video game? That is right, Corey. Well done. Corey got it right. That's excellent. It is B. The game's developer declares in detail the content of the game. Okay, so that kind of covers the things that we have looked at so far this lesson. Okay, what I would like you to do now is I would like you to look through the ratings again, okay, and we are going to be looking at a YouTube clip which kind of explains what Fortnite is and explains what you can do in Fortnite. And as you watch, I would like you to think about which PEGI rating Fortnite was given by the VSC and write down what you think it is and why. Okay, so which PEGI rating was given to Fortnite and why? So have a look through the ratings again and think about which one you think Fortnite received and give reasons why. Okay, we're going to watch a video now just to help you answer that question. Here we go. The link to this video is on the PowerPoint that I've uploaded on Show My Homework. So if you need to watch these videos again at any time, they're all on the PowerPoint that I have uploaded to these videos. Okay. And this is Fortnite. Here we go.
Welcome to our guide to Fortnite. Fortnite is a popular survival strategy game for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Windows and Mac. It combines Minecraft resource collecting and building with team-based survival shooting games. The main action in the Save the World mode is shooting and attacking with melee weapons, but players can also build fortifications and work with teammates to defend survivors from waves of enemy monsters. This combines with exploration and resource gathering to play a little like Minecraft. It left to greater popularity with its Battle Royale mode.
Sorry, my computer's a little bit slow today, so you'll have to forgive me.
Can be played for free and pits up to 100 players against each other, while a mysterious cloud steadily reduces the size of the war zone, creating knife edge and climactic gunfights. Although it's just a shooting game, players will develop strategy thinking, forward planning and creative approaches to combat. It teaches deep collaboration and strategy as players work together to save teammates. In the UK, the Video Standards Council rate Fortnite as PEGI 12 for frequent scenes of mild violence. It is not suitable for persons under 12 years of age. The VSC expand on their PEGI rating, stating that violence consists of using whatever weapons you can find or make to fend off monsters of the storm and save the survivors. Damage is dealt by numbers and life bars, and monsters disappear in a purple flash when defeated. Not covered by ratings are the interactions with other players online. Although the game isn't rated for profanity, its online nature could expose younger players to offensive language from random strangers via the voice or on-screen text chat. It's also a game where the sound is crucial, hearing footsteps of other players in particular. This means that players will want to wear headphones and parents can't always hear what is being said. Because of this, it's worth setting up your console or PC to have sound coming from the TV as well as the headset so you can hear what other players are saying to your children from time to time. A good way to avoid children speaking to strangers is to set up a lobby of friends before they start playing. This enables them to mute the other players they don't know and just talk to the people in their community. Although the popular Battle Royale mode is free to play, it's worth noting that you do need Xbox Gold subscription to play online on the Xbox One, although you don't need a PlayStation Plus subscription on the PlayStation. The game does push players to make additional in-game purchases, though they're not required to play the game, and these only change the way the player appears rather than elements that improve their performance. Like any game with a fiercely competitive online mode, younger players can find that Fortnite makes them cross or angry when they lose. This is common in games like FIFA and Rocket League, but even more so in Fortnite because you only have one life and then you're wrapped to the game. Taking regular breaks can help this, as well as playing with parents nearby or in shared family rooms. This competitive and online play style also means it is hard to stop the game partway through, as children will complain that this will affect their standing in the game. A good way for families to play the Save the World mode together are the Fight the Storm, Ride the Lightning, and Deliver the Bomb maps, as these have no time limits, so you don't have to rush in exploring and gathering items to build your base. Parents looking for alternatives to Fortnite for players too young for the content or finding the gameplay too difficult should consider Minecraft, which is PEGI 7, Roblox, which is PEGI 7, Stardew Valley, which is PEGI 7, Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, which is PEGI 7, and Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2, which is PEGI 12.
Okay, so going back to our lesson, as you can see, well, you probably the smart ones amongst you will have noticed on the title of the YouTube video there that actually it was 12. So Fortnite has been given a PEGI 12. I would like you just from that have a think about reasons why. So Fortnite is a PEGI 12. Make a note of that. But why do you think it is? Have a look at what a PEGI 12 is on the ratings document that we looked at, and think about why that is. Well, I'll give you reasons why. This is what the VSC have said about Fortnite, okay? This is Fortnite for the Nintendo Switch. It's a 12 on the Nintendo Switch, but it's a 12 across all other platforms, so it doesn't really matter for that. Okay, so it says the VSC gives advice for customers. It said this game is rated PEGI 12 for frequent, mild violence. It is not suitable for persons under the age of 12, although I'm sure we all know that kids under the age of 12 do buy and do play this game. There's a brief outline of the game. It says Fortnite will only contain Battle Royale mode where players board and the battle bus and are thrown onto an island with 99 other players and compete to be the last person standing. The game contains no deaths and players are merely eliminated. Actions are exaggerated and removed from realism. And it says the content-specific issues. Violence consists of you using whatever weapons you can find or make to defeat other players, with damage being dealt by numbers and life bars. The players disappear in a blue light when defeated. So they disappear. There's no dead bodies there. You don't see any gore or anything like that. Okay, and then there's some secondary issues and information there. The game offers in-game items which can be purchased by the player using real world money. Okay, so that's a key bit of information for later on in the unit when we're talking about funding. Okay, this information, this information here can also be seen in this document, which says Fortnite PEGI rating. I have uploaded this onto Show My Homework, and you can access this information as well. Okay, so you can see this information. It might be worth you printing that off, copying and stick it into your exercise book, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's start moving on to the end of the lesson now. Okay, so I would like you just as the lesson finishes now, I would like you to write answers to these questions. Now, these are exam-style questions that the type of which you might see in mock exams or in the final Year 11 exam next year. Okay, so we've got question 1: who regulates games in the UK? That's 1 mark. Fortnite was given a PEGI rating of 12. Name 2 of the other PEGI ratings. That's 2 marks. So you can write those down. And then briefly explain the reasons why Fortnite was given a 12 PEGI rating. And that will give you 4 marks. Okay. I would like you to complete those questions in your exercise books and, or on your lined paper. Okay. And that finishes the lesson for today. Later on this week, you will find uploaded another of our lesson 2 of our Fortnite. Hopefully that you are receiving all this information. If you have any problems with any of this, please email me, c.mcgettigan@oldfieldschool.com. If you've got any questions, if you'd like a little bit more information, if you want to share some of your understanding, remember this does need to be relevant, and these questions, I'm not going to answer any questions that are not relevant because we just don't have time for that kind of thing. It's been a real pleasure to deliver this lesson to you guys. I hope you are all well. I hope you are all staying inside, staying safe, and making the best use of your time at home by studying all your subjects. And I will see you very soon, and I will be speaking to you very soon in our next Mr. McGettigan's Media Fortnite lesson. Ta-ta for now.